What's up, it's your boy Kwame Eugene, aka I'm a rock star.
Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Kitty, aka the girl them sugar, aka say you love me.
What's up, everyone? My name is Miss V.
My name is Stephen Appiah, former international footballer. Keep watching SVTV Africa.
Hello, once again. Good afternoon. You're welcome to SVTV Africa. SVTV chats live on SVTV Africa. Today we inside East Legon, right here inside Kiki B's restaurant and lounge. You can come here and then get a delicious meal of your choice and then enjoy, relax. Today is Thursday. The weekend has already begun. You just come here and then find something good for yourself and then relax whilst you are eating or drinking. Today we're coming to talk about health. There's a lot of things going on in Ghana now. Should we legalize marijuana or we should not legalize marijuana? We're coming to we need to be educated on that. We are getting to the experts on what does marijuana do. Does it spoil human being or it does good for human being? The benefits of marijuana, we're going to talk about it right here on SVTV Africa. My name is Evan Samuga. Call me Chief Ami. I'm here with my executive producer, DJ Nyami. Call him Emmanuel Kwajo. And then Bismarck Osieni Efifa with the crew, Sakite Kobi. And then the entire crew, they are all in support of this program. I'm here with Dr. Christian Dapaah. He is a doctor with Pure Source in California. Pure Source Humboldt in California. We welcome him onto the show and then know more about him. Doc, welcome onto SVTV Africa.
Thanks for having me.
And then welcome to Ghana.
Yes, thanks. I'm coming home, so thank you very much.
Are you a Ghanaian?
Yes, I am. Born
from?
My family's from Kumasi. I was born in Tema.
Oh wow, yeah. Community.
Community 9.
Wow, Tema boy. Tema boy is in the building. So how long have you been in States?
Going on 32 years.
Wow, 32 years.
Long time, yes.
My goodness. So a doctor now. Where did you begin your basic school and then climb up to that level?
Right. Well, I studied in California. I received my minor in Georgia, which is Atlanta. Then finished my doctorate studies back in California. Yes.
Okay. So but you started basic school right in Ghana.
I started basic school. I went to Shields, Comte 2. Yeah, Shields Elementary, Comte 2. So I left in 1986, and then I started coming back home from 2000, and then I've been coming home ever since, every year. That's right.
Wow. So how do you see the hospitals, or let me say health of Ghanaians, in general?
Well, health of Ghanaians, our lifestyles are changing dramatically. A lot of expats are coming. We are learning new things. Health of Ghanaians is good. It's on the uprise as far as having the equipment and the knowledge that we need to battle the health problems. But yes, as much as our health is deteriorating because of our lifestyles, we are also gaining the knowledge that we need to battle the lifestyle. So our lifestyle is changing, but we are getting more and more educated as to how to treat our lifestyle changes and the health consequences that comes with the lifestyle change.
Wow. We're coming to talk about our health. You can send your messages, any kind of question you want to ask doctor, you bring it up and we're going to he's ready to answer all that. In fact, it should be very topical questions that will provoke him, bring a lot out from him, because this man is from California. He has learned a lot from medicine and all that. We are basing this discussion on marijuana, the benefits of marijuana. We thought when you take in marijuana, you go crazy, you do a lot of things that as a normal human being that have taken in water will not do. But doctor, you were telling us there are a lot of benefits in marijuana. How is that true? What is marijuana and what are the benefits? And in fact, I want to know the bad aspect first, and then what is marijuana itself first.
Okay, so the myth that's been around marijuana, as we all know. I remember being raised here. People thought that the crazy people were the one. You smoke marijuana, you go crazy, right? You lose your mind. And there's been a myth associated with that. And also because marijuana was banned and became illegal in the 1930s, right? Many people put a taboo on marijuana in general. But marijuana has been around for a long time, hundreds of years, and it's been used medicinally, right? But as it was banned, and as of late, in the past 20 years, the studies of marijuana has been improving. A lot of people are inquiring into it, and the reason why is because if we think of how, when you asked earlier about the lifestyle and the health that's going on, most people have been taking conventional medicine, which is the synthetic drugs. And the synthetic drugs is killing us. The side effects of these synthetic drugs is killing us. So many people have begun to inquire about the natural medicine because they notice that natural medicine doesn't have the side effects that the synthetic medications have. Marijuana has been one of the major, if not the major, alternative or natural medication being studied now. So when you ask of the bad side of marijuana, the worst side that most people have been associated with is the mind-altering part of marijuana, right? That it causes craziness or whatever it may be, okay? Now, that is false. It's not a true thing.
Doc, hold on. You said we now, initially as in the 30s, coming to the 90s, that we love, the natural medicine, but now we are shifting our lifestyle, are now pushing us to, the synthetic drugs. I wanted to help us. What's the difference between those synthetic drugs and the natural ones?
Very well. Synthetic, when something is made synthetically, they use chemicals to make it. So it's chemicals, it's produced in a lab. And natural is what grows from Mother Earth. For example, marijuana, as we're talking, was grown naturally. It's a natural product. You don't require chemicals to combine to make it. Synthetic is made in a lab, put together, and then produced in tablets, liquid form, and then you take it. For example, let's just throw a medication like tramadol that I hear is very popular here, or become popular, that's being abused. That is a synthetic drug. It's chemically put together, right? Marijuana is grown naturally. So that is the difference.
Wow. So, for example, but interestingly, what you're saying, maybe let me say I have a headache and I can take, I don't want to mention any product, but we know a lot of painkillers that you take in. You will be relieved of your headache. So if you are telling us there are negativity or there are negatives or aspects of that, I'm a little bit confused.
Okay, so I'll give you a name of a product. It's very common. I guess the chemical name might be different. Tylenol, we use a lot in California. Common drug you take for pain. If you take too much Tylenol, it'll damage your liver. It'll shut your liver down. So even when we dispense it to patients, we have to tell them how to take it, because if you take too much, your liver will shut down, okay? Toxic to your liver. And that's a very commonly used medication that everyone has in their cabinets, okay? So that is also synthetic products that's used. It's a safe product if used well, but when it's abused, right now it's killing a lot of people because they abuse it in many pain regimens. Okay, so that is the danger in using synthetic medicine. Now, natural medicine, on the other hand, okay, causes a different kind of deal because the side effects is not as much. Something like, once again, let's stick to our marijuana subject, is that it cannot be abused. What I mean by that is people take it in large amounts, but you can't overdose it. So it
really
can be abused, but you can't overdose as you would with synthetic medications.
I'm coming. Maybe I want to put myself in those who have never tasted marijuana before. I want to put myself in those who taste marijuana. They have something called 1 rule, 2 rule, and all that. So if 1 rule, I take 1 rule and I'm high up, and tomorrow I take 2 rule. How many times I thought I've overused it? Or?
Well, okay. So with that being said, let's be very clear here. Now that's discussing smoking it. When you talk about 1 roll, 2 roll, that's the smoking of marijuana. Now, to each his own. When it comes to smoking, that's fine. That's up to your own discretion or private use. But we're speaking of the medical component of marijuana. See, when we talk medically, we're talking about the studying of it, the dosing of it, dosing it correctly so that it's used moderately. Okay? So let me kind of rephrase the comment I made earlier. Anything can be abused, but you can't overdose on marijuana. You cannot overdose. There's no overdosing of it. So when we speak of marijuana and the subject we're talking about in the medical use, we are talking about being able to study that product, dose accurately. As for example, The Tylenol. You know when you take one capsule, you're taking maybe 500 milligrams or 325 milligrams. You're taking a dose of it. Marijuana can be dosed if studied correctly. Okay, where I am from in California, we are one of the leaders, and it's the mecca for marijuana. And if you come to the States, Humboldt County, where Pure Source is at, we are the mecca of marijuana. We are one of those that are leading the way as far as the dosing. And so when you talk about marijuana, my subject and my specialty has been on marijuana. That's being studied very, very well right now. The THC. THC is what, when we talked about the mind altering, that's what caused the craziness, as people would say, or makes you. Then there's CBD. Okay, CBD is the non-psychoactive part of marijuana. That is getting a lot of focus. Okay, so we are not discussing THC. THC is the mind-altering, although it's also very beneficial in a lot of ways. But CBD has the beneficial part that I focus on because it's non-psychoactive. It doesn't make you high, right, or cause that stereotype that many people talk about. But it's rather used many uses. For example, I'll give you a short list, okay, of the proven that are studied. It's proven as far as the use, okay? Very quickly, pain and inflammation is one.
Hold on. When you have pain and then your body have been inflamed, you can use marijuana to cure it.
Absolutely. It relieves. It's a very, very effective anti-inflammatory. So if you have a headache, back pain, whatever the pain may be, you can take it. Arthritis, very good for it. Okay.
Doc, what you mean take it? Are you taking the leaves? Are you chewing it or smoking it or using it to make something?
No. Very good question. So people will say, okay, if we are not smoking it, what are we talking about? What we are doing in the States now, very simple process where the marijuana, the oils, the CBD component is extracted out of that plant. So there's a system. We have machines now, very good machines that are used to extract the oils out of that plant. And once it's extracted, it's put in a dose of drinks. It can be used in tablets, drops. I even have some drops that I've brought to Ghana that I'm going to be giving to some people. But there's drops. There's even candies. There is sublingual tablets. There's so many different forms that we produce. But it's the form of taking the oils from the plant, and that oil is used then to dose and give the certain milligrams for the pain and inflammation. As I was saying, nausea.
Let's continue. Pain and inflammation. That is one. Two.
It's, anti-nausea is another. Nausea.
No.
If you feel like vomiting. Okay. It's very good for women who are getting the morning sickness when they are pregnant. Very good for that. Another one, antipsychotic. So.
Hold on. Those who are pregnant feels like they want to throw out.
You feel like throwing up. You feel like throwing up and you're nauseated. The drops, very beneficial.
Wow.
Okay, because it's not toxic. Okay, then you have psychotic. If you're talking about anxiety and stress, and we would use crazy as an easy lay term, but it's used to help those who have those mind issues. Let me give a very common situation that people use the drops for: PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. For those who go to war and come back, they are in a state of post-traumatic stress, and CBD has proven to be very beneficial for them. Very, very good. So a lot of the Army veterans use it. Okay, another one, seizures. Now, seizures was one of the big.
Hold on, seizures.
Yes. Seizures. Okay. Epilepsy. I don't know if Ghana sees epilepsy. Yes, very, very much. That's seizures. Okay, that's another word for epilepsy. Okay, very, very effective. Okay, it started out with a little child who used to experience up to 30 epilepsy episodes every day. But upon getting the doses, it stopped. Wow. Because part of the brain that causes that, the CBD has the ability to minimize it and block that activity. Okay, so epilepsy is a very big one. Another one, let me just give you, and I'm going to give you the last one, which most people are shocked by. Cardiovascular health. You talk about
Vascular health. No, immune system.
cardiovascular is your heart. So heart health, very good for it. People find it hard to believe, but it's proven in their studies. Diabetes is another one. Very popular. Sugar ailment.
Doc, please hold on. We know when you taking marijuana or weed or whatever it is, you get heart problems. But you are now telling us it rather cures heart diseases.
Yes. It has the ability to minimize cardiovascular disorders. Now, and that's very proven and studied upon. You know, people talk in Ghana and make these myths. It's very common, but no studies behind the myths. There are proven studies that show the ability for cardiovascular disorders that cannabis, marijuana, CBD has the ability to help in cardiovascular disorders. Very, very much so. Another big one, the biggest one that I appreciate is cancer. It's been studied to have the ability to kill
Cancer.
cancer.
When you smoke cigarettes, you get cancer. And taking marijuana is closer to, and you telling us it cures cancer.
Well, think of how you get cancer from smoking. You are smoking those toxins, right? You're smoking, you're inhaling smoke. So it's killing you slowly. That's smoke. That's cigarette smoke. What cannabis does is, once again, let's leave the smoke aside. We're talking about these products, medicinal. So in the form of liquid tablets that one can take. So if you have these cancer cells in your blood, it has the ability to fight those cancer cells and eradicate them, get them out of your system. So it's been proven, there are studies that shows the ability for cannabis to kill those cancer cells.
Look, you've been running away from one particular thing. You're talking about we want to know the benefits. Please, you can send your messages and any question you want to ask on marijuana and all that, or your health and everything. Ask Doctor. Doctor is ready to answer it. Now, you want to talk about the health benefits of marijuana. We know, and I asked this question initially, that either you smoke it, either you chew the leaves raw, or either you use it to, you can use it, they use it in the form of tea or something. Which one is the best?
Okay, it's to each his own. Now let me explain why. Everyone has the dosage form that they prefer. For example, in the CBD, it comes in oils, sublingual drops, comes in candies, comes in tablets, comes in rectal suppositories. Okay? Well, you think about it, for example, in certain conditions, if someone is in a hospital and they can't take anything orally, it has to be given somehow, right? So it will be given rectally, right? So there are different forms. Some people prefer to smoke, right? They prefer to smoke it or inhale the vapors. So that is also there, okay? So, and that is done by, there are systems that you can use when you have the oils where you cause the vapors and you inhale the vapors.
Okay, so which means when you have the right materials you use to when you use to smoke it, you are not going to get any kind of negativity or effect on it.
No, there's no. I mean, if you're inhaling the vapors, you're not. It's if you take cigarettes, for example. Once again, when it's rolled up in its tube and you smoke the toxins in cigarettes, that's how the cancer and everything is generated. But if you are inhaling the vapor, smoke in general, as they say, can cause certain internal problems. Okay, that's why I'm not advocating smoking. Even though smoking is something that people can do, that's up to them. But my advocation is not on smoking. My advocation is on the medicinal part, which is, and smoking can be medicinal. People can argue that all day. But my focus is on the other options, which is the drops, the tablets, the liquids. Okay, your mother, for example, if she has arthritis, if she comes to me, I wouldn't recommend smoking, right? Because most likely she won't take it. Most people won't smoke it. But if there's a liquid available, or something in a water form, or tablets, or a candy form, that's what Ghana can more readily accept as opposed to the smoking. Because to me, I've never smoked. I don't advocate smoking. But I advocate other options that we have. Now that we know we can extract the oils, you can extract oil. You can make whatever you want. You can make tea, you can make water, you can make anything you want. Smoking. Okay, you can do there's so there are all options there outside of the smoking.
Wow, Viewers, we are speaking to Dr. Christian Dapaah. He is a doctor from California, Pure Source Humboldt in California. That's where he works. He's educating us. We are learning a lot from him on marijuana. Marijuana gives a lot. Now, for in Ghana here, basically, when you ask anyone the core benefit of marijuana, the person will tell you, oh, when you use it to mix a cream, it gives hair. Is that also true?
When you mix,
You mix it with the cream, or you can use it in a cream form to use it on your body, you get a lot of hair.
a lot of hair. Yes, I've heard that as well. I've heard that very much from a lot of people.
Is this scientifically proven?
I haven't studied that area, so I'm not sure. I can't give a sure answer on that, but I have seen it. I have heard people that have used it. My own brother has used that in regimens, and it's worked for him as well as multiple people. But therein lies the thing. There's also creams available that you can put on your skin for pain. CBD or cannabis in itself also has antimicrobial effects. So for certain infections, you can put the creams on and it can heal certain sores. So yes, it's many benefits in its cream form. Okay.
So, Doc, we have a lot of people in Ghana here that are in rehab centers and our psychiatric hospitals and all that are doctors here telling us, they had those, problems in their mind due from them taking in marijuana. So, are you trying to challenge them, telling them it is not true?
Okay. Well, let's put this clearly. Those that are smoking the marijuana and going crazy, first of all, what has to happen? We need to define what it is that's causing that. Okay. There's a lot of drugs in Ghana. You have to remember that. Okay. I am willing to argue, and I am willing to argue against anyone that cannabis in itself doesn't make you crazy.
Really? Marijuana would never get you crazy. Prove it to us.
You high. Because if you have to go back to studies. All doctors rely on studies. We rely on studies. That is the core of our background in anything we do. We rely on studies to prove cures, whatever it may be. We have to go back to studies. Cannabis, marijuana, does not cause craziness. Cannabis will make you high. That is not saying you're going to be crazy. Okay? So whatever myth surrounds that needs to be clarified deeply. And that is where I put the challenge on a lot of the practitioners and the doctors here. Before you put a period on that statement and highlight that statement as truth, you have to look at the studies. Is there a defined study that cannabis makes you crazy? And I'm telling you right now, most people will go back and the answer is no. Okay? There are no studies that show cannabis will make you crazy.
You're saying it to make you high, go high. High means high. You shouting, you are crazy.
No, that is not crazy. See, it's one thing for somebody to be crazy. A crazy person, let me in where I'm from, okay? A crazy person will walk into a school and shoot people and kill them, as it happens all the time in America, right? A crazy person will beat his wife and kill his wife. That's crazy to me. No one who smokes cannabis is going to go into a school and feel like they have the urge. Then you might as well say that alcohol makes you crazy. Alcohol has more potential to make you crazy and do crazier things than cannabis.
Oh, really?
When you drink and you get drunk, when people get drunk, okay, you hear people getting drunk, driving and causing accidents, right? When people get drunk, they do silly and crazy things. Then you might as well then say to the same way that alcohol, which is perfectly legal, makes you crazy as well. Because it alters your mind. That's what alcohol does, right? It alters your mind from a sober state to a drunk state. So that's one thing. Marijuana takes you from a sober state to a high state. So why are we singling marijuana to be the one that causes craziness? When you drink and you get drunk and you can't even ride your motorbike home, then that's crazy as well. I mean, wouldn't that be an argument?
Doc, now you have given us about 6 or 7 health benefits of marijuana, but you have never given us one side effect of marijuana. Doesn't it have any side effects?
Okay, so now we have to go back to the components we're talking about here. Marijuana makes you high, right? If you're taking if THC is involved. CBD once again, which is my focus. That's where I've been studying a lot. Okay, CBD, which is cannabidiol, has very low side effects. Very, very low side effects. Very, very low. I mean, when it comes to the list of side effects, it's very minimal. Most people have complained of maybe a minor headache, some dry mouth, nothing major. Really, besides that, there aren't any side effects. No toxicity. There's no toxicity in CBD whatsoever. Okay, cannot be abused. Okay, and the side effect profile is very, very small. Once again, there's not much. Now, one of the biggest side effects where we all can laugh at is it makes you hungry, so you go and eat. Even that is used in the health business. For those who don't have an appetite, we give them cannabis to help them eat. So some of the side effects in cannabis is rather used for its medicinal use, if you follow me. Okay, so the side effects such as making you hungry is rather used in medicine to help treat those who can't eat. Its ability to cause the high is used for those who are stressed and have the anxiety, right? Just the same way as alcohol. Some people who are depressed or stressed will take a glass of wine. Why is that? It relaxes them. If drunk moderately, it's a relaxer. Just same way that cannabis is. When it's used moderately, it's a relaxer. It relaxes the body. So it's the same way. So the side effect potential and profile is very low. Very, very low.
Wow. Good education. We're really learning from doctor here. You know, I'm learning a lot on marijuana. Doctor is Dr. Christian Dapaah, fantastic doctor by our standards. Now, doctor, some people are of the view. They mention, let me use Ghana for example. They will tell you, hey, Ashama weed here. Say, bet you about damu. I say, a year for no. Nima for we now, no, you didn't think Kaswa for we. No, is there any difference in marijuana?
Very, very much. There are thousands of different strains of marijuana.
Some are harder than others.
Harder than others.
Explain.
That has to do, and see, that's where the studying is so good, because it allows you to see what percentage or potency of THC or CBD. For example, like you said, Ashama and the other one. One would have maybe 30% THC, whereas another would have 40% THC, which means that the levels of the ingredients that are in the marijuana are higher in one than the other. So the effects will be different. Okay? Will be different. So there are different types of cannabis and different types of strains that are out there. Many, many different strains. The marijuana strains here are even different than the ones in California. Right? Because it's all grown differently, different families, so they're all completely different from one another.
Doc, I just remembered something. A friend of mine took in, the seeds. He was there and he, took some of the seeds and he chewed it and then drank water on it. Just like 15 minutes time, the guy was there and he was like, he can't see his leg. Is that not craziness, doctor?
Okay, that's being high. That's characterized as being high. Yes, you see, this is where I'm encouraging Ghana and Ghanaians. When we do tend to overdo it, right? Marijuana, once again, can make you high, right? If Ghanaians we were allowed to study the compound itself and know how to dose and encourage Ghanaians on how to take it, then these things won't be happening. Because what most people do is they don't know how much to take. They don't know the limits. They don't know their limits. So some people may take it, they don't feel their legs or see their legs. That's characterized as being high. And paranoia is very common when you take high levels of THC. Okay? So what your friend did is took a dose that was beyond what he needed or she needed to take. So you're going to experience that. But the advantage of cannabis as opposed to alcohol is it's not toxic. So although you may get high and experience those things, it's not going to damage your organs the way alcohol or tobacco does.
Wow.
If taken large amounts, all you're going to experience is the highness, but you're more likely to recover healthy than you would in alcohol toxicity or tobacco use, overusing of tobacco.
One interesting thing is that those who take in marijuana, in fact, when you go to a community or we know lots of people in our communities, in Ghana here, that it's not legal, so they hide and take it. When you look at those people, their body is in a certain form. You could see they are in a slim form. That does it drains a lot of water from you, or what is it?
Well, it increases metabolism. So what that means is that you're breaking down a lot of things. Okay? Yes. So you're breaking down a lot. So you notice a lot of smokers will be really skinny because their metabolism is good. Because they smoke a lot, it increases metabolism. They get hungry, they eat, they still don't get fat because metabolism is really, really good. So it increases metabolism. Okay? And then once again, that has to do, if you look at a lot of these people who are walking around and their skin may be deformed or whatever, it's not only because of the marijuana. That's where we have to kind of really learn that. Their whole lifestyle, you have to look at what they do in a day. There's so much that comes with it. A lot of them are walking and they walk for miles in the heat. The heat is burning their skin. They're taking in a lot of sun. So it's not because of the marijuana. It's the lifestyle around that causes all of that. So you can't just conclude that because they smoke marijuana, their skin and the way they walk. No. See, that's where we make the mistake. There's a lifestyle also around the smoking that causes those problems or that character.
Just as you're saying, it gets you high and all that. When one takes in marijuana and the person gets high to the point that he or she cannot be controlled, what are one or two other things that you can put in place so that the person will come back to normal?
Okay, so if someone smokes a lot and they are overly high, okay, and you have control of them, right? It takes a little bit of time for that feeling to die down. So what you do generally in most cases, there isn't anything that you can give to a patient outside of maybe giving them fluids, okay, cold fluids, okay. No, you don't mix any alcohol. You isolate them, allow them to calm down, and it takes a little bit of time. A lot of these highs don't last long, depending on how they take it. So if one comes and it's high and it's uncontrollable, you allow them to be isolated, give them fluids that they usually water, okay, and allow the soberness or that soberness to take place, okay. And that's really all that you do. There's not much or no specific medicine you would take to diminish the highness, okay.
There are a lot of people who, me for example, when I take in granite, it's not. I'll get like a form of cold. So I don't like granite at all. So are there people or are there any human being, because of, I don't know, the blood component in the person will be maybe allergic to marijuana, or it's good for any person at all?
That's very possible. Allergy is something that is very individualized. What that means is anybody can be allergic. There's no telling. And the only way that they find out is upon use of it and how their body will react to it. Okay, so no, I can't say that there is no one that could not be allergic to it, but it's definitely true that when it comes to marijuana itself, there are people that may be allergic to it. Groundnut. It's a thing. Remember, marijuana is a crop. It grows, right? That's what we forget. It's natural. So some people may be allergic to it, but it's all individualized. It depends on the individual.
Now, doctor, you are in Ghana now. There is, just like you said, meth and marijuana. It gets you smoke. It does this. It does that. It does that. Should it be illegal? Should it be legalized and all that? Doc, you are now finally in your country. You've been in California for 32 years, like you said. What are you bringing on board?
Well, this is my challenge that I would love to have. I think I love medicine. I love to help people. I love I love this practice because we have the ability and knowledge to help those who need it. From the experience I've derived in the States, ever since cannabis became legal, the benefits I've seen the people, not only for health-wise, but in communities, is outrageous. It's outrageous. And I think if Ghana adapted that same principle medicinally, now let's stick to that, because the argument will be, should we legalize it recreationally or medicinally? There's going to be many arguments for that. I leave that to people to argue over. Personally, I feel if the government would allow it medicinally, where they would allow the trained doctors and scientists and those who have the educational background to study it here in Ghana and create the compounds necessary to treat individuals. Let me give you an example. Just in the area of pain, okay, we can create components of medicine that can help so many people in pain and treat them naturally without giving them the compounds that they give in hospitals or at home that's killing them, okay? So I think it's very important that the reason why I'm in Ghana is I'm working with a few students at UST that we are looking to really team up and really put that pressure on the powers that be to allow us the opportunity to study it. Even so, we are prepared in California, me and my team, we want to appeal to the government to give us an opportunity to train those that are here, to show them not only how it's grown, but how it's studied, how the oils are extracted, how it's dosed, how to teach people to use it. Those are all things that we can provide Ghana with. I'm prepared to be able to do that. So I challenge anyone who has an interest or any power that be who has a slight interest in this to contact us so we can be able to look to work with Ghana, because Ghana in itself has that ability not only to produce the compound here, but so many bodies and students that are so intelligent and innovative that if they take on this thing will be phenomenal. Let me just give one figure just so you have an idea of what I mean. Denver, Colorado, which is a state, legalized this in 2014, if I'm correct. I was reading an article when I was flying here. In 2014, they legalized the recreational as well. They brought in $4.5 billion.
My goodness. Revenue they get.
$4.5 billion, of which $500 million was through taxation that was given to the government. So if Ghana can generate even half of that in business and in helping the community, I mean, the difference that would be made if Ghana sets up a system, okay, that is already there. It's not as if it's going to be difficult. The prototypes and protocols are there, that if they allow medicinal, the way it'll help the communities, not only as far as health-wise, but financially, by providing jobs for the community, by bringing income into the country. Because we have all the facilities, the ability to grow. I brag on this all the time when I'm in the States on how good we are in agriculture. We are probably one of the best. We can grow anything here. If Ghana can do that and be able to grow, hemp is one of the best products we use in CBD. Our product, we use hemp, okay? Contains CBD, has no THC in it, okay? So it's not the high that we're talking about, but the medicinal component for Ghana to grow hemp, and most people that are listening that know about hemp can be used for shirts. They make the best quality shirts. They make parachutes. They make the compound in itself can be brought right back into the community to produce more money. So those are the things that we can do as Ghanaians if we jump into this and bring income. And I've been more even motivated because I've seen a president in Ghana who is so innovative. I'm so impressed with our current leader and his even though I'm not political at all. Let's be very clear here. I'm not political, but I'm impressed with his push to bring in young ones, to bring in outsiders, to really help bring in all the innovations that's going on in the world. His encouragement to think outside of the box, because this is what exactly this is. This is us thinking outside of the box and leading the path in Africa, because sooner or later it's about to be legalized in some countries here in Africa. And if Ghana can lead, why not?
Wow, that is Dr. Dapaah for you. Let me take some of your messages and then we continue with our chats live on SVTV Africa. You can send your messages and I'm going to do the reading for you. Paul Amediku says, thanks to be sending me live on SVTV. Your message is not clear. If you can come again. Sarah Boachi says, good afternoon, guys. And then Prince Samson says, marijuana. He's asking a question. And Edumi says, chemical drugs side effects are more dangerous to natural herbs. Okay, he agrees with Doctor. And then Simon Kalusha says high grade. Why Honorable Abedi Kwadaso from Kumasi says watching live and clear at Big Joe show near Kwadaso Onion Market. And then Nia Trump Senior says, what about diabetes and blood pressure? What about diabetes and blood pressure? Can marijuana cure this? I know you've spoken about diabetes, but about on blood pressure, I don't know.
Right. Well, let's be very clear here. Let's that. But what it does help, cannabis has been proven to help with the complexities of diabetes as well as cardiovascular. When I mentioned earlier about cardiovascular, those are all related. That's hypertension, that's cholesterol, and that is diabetes. Those three, when it comes to cardiovascular health, is what causes the problems. So your stroke, so far, that's all proof cardiovascular disorders, which is hypertension, cholesterol problems.
All right, let's continue with messages. Mantis Beat says, please tell the doctor to talk about THC and CBD and the difference and their separate effects. Okay, doctor, help with that.
All right. So, very simply, without getting complex, the two prominent components of marijuana is THC and CBD. Those are your two prominent compounds. When we speak of THC is what's known as your mind-altering or your psychoactive component of marijuana. That's what people get high off of. When we talk about people get high, they can't feel their legs and see, that's THC working. Okay? So that's psychoactive component. CBD is your non-psychoactive component. Okay? So when you look at those two compounds, the difference between THC and CBD, the THC is your mind-altering, makes you high. CBD is your non-mind altering. It doesn't cause that. And that is together a synergy, which means they enhance the effects of each other. So they work very well together. Okay? But the is those two, the non-psychoactive and the psychoactive. And that's what THC is your psychoactive. Non-psychoactive would be your CBD. So that's
All right. Thank you very much, Doc. Henrietta Beja says, thanks for on the medical field. I have given it to a cancer patient who can't eat for days after the result was shocking. Wow. Henrietta, thank you for that one. And this is from Mantis Beats again. Says cannabis has been demonized. In most of the people going mad are mixing the drugs with other stuff. Okay, so is it true people mix it with other stuff?
true. Therein lies the problem. That's why I say it's very important. Before we characterize and say that cannabis is making people crazy, we have to look at each individual situation. The people that are going crazy, there's other things being mixed in. Cannabis does not make you crazy. And that's where, if we can erase that myth, okay, it doesn't exist. Cannabis does not make you crazy. Okay, so those people that are going crazy are mixing it. There's something else they're taking in. Well, and you know, if I even bring it to where I'm from, once again, you know, they mix cannabis with cocaine. They mix it with all these other products that will get you crazy. So before we put that period on it and say that cannabis makes people crazy, we kind of have to examine those that are taking it, okay, and isolate each individual situation because cannabis does not.
All right. So Henrietta Igbeja sends this one. He say you don't have to put it in food or drink and drink it as tea. Okay, doctor said so. Eddie Kweku said good topic, and then Henrietta says too much of everything is bad, and then Eddie Kweku, most Ghanaians don't know limits. Nazir Sule say it reduces fat in your body. Okay, that was what I asked Dr. Mentis Bits again says I think he says I think the interviewer wants to get high low. And then Nana Baz Jacob says what about diabetes and blood pressure? He have spoken about that here. It's good for vascular, you know. And then Revelation Kojo Giver says, I just joined the interview and I'm writing from New York. This man is talking about the profits we will get, but he's not talking about the consequences of the herb. He have done that, please. Any country that has legalized this herb, there is a high rate of crime and mad people on the streets. Ghana should not make attempt to legalize this. I have never seen any human being who smokes weed and it's normal. He said smoking. No, he said no to smoking. We are talking about about the benefits of marijuana. You can use it. I've said set examples either in the form of candy. You can use it in your drink or whatever it is, but you don't have to smoke it. And you also said his question on where there's a high rate of crime. That's what I also want to know. Can you dedicate us on that?
So let's elaborate on that. Now, this is where he has to be very careful because he's not doing his research. In the city of New York, he's come from New York, right? Okay. Now, in the city of New York, they're just working on the legalization. The kind of crimes that happen in the states, okay, has been robberies, right? When they grow the sites and stealing the cannabis products, okay? Now, once again, we want to be very clear here. With anything comes risks, okay? The study of cannabis in itself and bringing it in Ghana is no way going to increase crime. The kind of crimes that go on in America, you can't compare the two, okay? Because those very crimes that go on in America, as far as the robberies, okay, because when he says increase in crime, he needs to be very specific. What does he mean? Because there's DUIs, there's drink, that's a big thing, but that's because of alcohol. Okay, you don't hear many times of people being pulled over for drinking while smoking. Okay, that's not there. So that's a very false and misguided comment. Okay, as far as increase in crime, what does he mean? Because that's not true. Okay, that's not a true statement. So I would like, if he's listening, to be very clear on what kind of crime he's talking about.
Powder classic says it's never true, and I'm from New Jersey. So tell me the number of people mad here. Okay, he's answering the New York person there. Then Revelation, could you give us? Says, he says, then doctor, it's not true. Then doctor, do your research very well. It has not. It does make people crazy. Before we go, Mantis Beat say great interview and topic well done, guys. Pado crazy the only crime use okay. So all right, so for Revelation Kwejo Giver, you just joined the discussion. We've done a lot about people getting mad, and Doc have explained all that to us. But doctor, for people, those who are joining us again, just a beat on, does marijuana get you crazy?
So our discussion here, for those who, okay, many people that hear marijuana are thinking smoking right away, right? And inhaling the smoke. Our conversation has been based on the medicinal components and the medicinal effects, taking it for medicine, right? And that's in the form of medicine, tablets, liquid, gums, right? Candies, teas. That's what we're talking about. See, so the comment of whether it's smoking it's going to get you crazy, that's diving into a whole other avenue that we're not discussing. We're discussing the medicinal components, being able to have facilities here in Ghana where it's in the form of tablets that most correctly, liquids, drops that we can be able to give to patients, okay? And in clinical practices, we're not talking about facilities where you come and smoke. We're not even discussing smoking. Our focus is on, once again, the other forms that one can take it in as. So that's where our focus is.
Right, Doc, you established this point. You want us to take it seriously so that we can learn on it. Maybe, for example, we can just create a school for it, Ghana School of Marijuana, so that people go there, we train doctors there, get a lot of the products for them, and then work on it so that maybe we can sell it in our pharmacies and all that. Have you contacted any of the ASEAN Ghana, any of the health practitioners, and even big men in society?
I have, and I don't want to give any names right now, but I have, and the purpose of it is, once again, because of the discoveries that's been made with cannabis, there is a system in us called the endocannabinoid system. I encourage anyone that's listening to look it up. YouTube it or Google it. The endocannabinoid system. That's been recently discovered. Okay, and it's being studied vigorously worldwide. And within the next 10 years, it's going to be incorporated in our medical school systems, because the truth of the matter is people are using it. And so if you're dealing with so many patients that are using it, they're coming and asking us questions, and most of us haven't studied it to answer it. So they're going to be incorporating it into our medical schools, our pharmaceutical schools, all of those schools. So it's very important that we have to also, as patients and as people, to study that ourselves. And there's so many books, YouTube, Google, look it up. The endocannabinoid system is something that is just brand new. Brand new. A lot of people are researching it now, but it exists in us. And I encourage everybody to look it up and learn about it.
All right, that is Dr. Christian Dapaah for you. Now, finally, before we leave, this is on a lighter note. People say when you take in marijuana, you can have sex for long. Is it true?
Well, it's funny. A study just came out. A study just came out recently that states that the use of cannabis, yes, increases the frequency of sexual activity. So those of us who may have sex maybe once a month, especially married ones, or twice a month, the frequency can go up. So
That enhances your performance as a boy, a male or a female.
yes, it does. I strongly believe it does. The recent study that just came out indicates that specifically, that it increases the frequency and that the effect of it. Most people will attest that have used it that yes, it does do that. So the answer is yes. It enhances the effects, I believe. Okay, one may argue not, but I would love to welcome that argument, because there are now studies that are beginning to show that it enhances those effects. So I look forward to more studies coming out.
Wow, that is Dr. Christian Dapaah. But doctor, before we wrap it up, have you seen or cite some communities or regions we can grow this marijuana, as you know, before we build up the school and then do this stuff?
What I think would need to happen if Ghana was to take this thing on, and if something that was to be approved by the powers that be, it doesn't have to be grown outside, because once again, we're creating a facility where we can grow the product and study it. California, for example, we grow them in warehouses, indoor. It doesn't have to be outdoor, because we're able to create the environment, right? The outside ecosystem or the inside ecosystem that's most beneficial to the plant, and then be able to extract the plant and the products to make it most efficient as possible. So the first thing that would need to happen, it doesn't have to be in any region. If the government, for example, says, you know what, let's welcome this study, and even approves us of a warehouse where we can bring in the best growers. I have access to some of the best growers in the nation, period. We can bring them here. From California, and nobody can argue against California. I'm a California boy, so nobody can send a message and say we don't grow the best. We grow the best. So we can create a facility, grow the products, study the product, okay, to the government's approval, and begin to do the studies that are needed. And that is what this discussion is about. I'm encouraging Ghanaians. We are always behind. We always tend to wait till everyone else succeeds, then we follow. But we are smart enough, we are vibrant enough, we are intelligent enough, we have everything that we have at our disposal. If we can take this on and rather lead as opposed to follow, the success comes to us. So
Okay, all right, let me take the last badges of our messages. And then Revelation of the Hemp high, and I know doctors in Ghana can give it to sick people who need it, but to legalize it for people on the streets to buy it decider. Okay, that is his view. Ajiman Ridi said, I'm watching live from Dubai. What the doctor is saying is true. I have YouTubed it, and it's really true, and it will generate much money in our poor country Ghana. Thank you, Doc. Mantis Beat says, trust me, foreigners would flood to Ghana for cannabis. Wow. That's where I end the messages. Doctor, your final words before we leave here.
Very well. So my final words, once again, I think I'm repeating myself, but if we can challenge the youth here, as well as the powers that be, to really take this thing on. I'm so encouraged, being someone that lives from the outside, when I hear our leader speak of thinking outside of the box or being innovative. Those are all things that leaders take on. And I'm encouraged to see so many young youth be so ambitious here in Ghana and doing anything they want to do. And I think as healthcare professionals and as those who have an interest in saving lives, this is an industry that's taken shape, and it's going to be a leading industry for a long time. And I really strongly believe that if Ghana takes this on and we begin to study it and see the benefits of it, the only way we can be able to criticize it is to study it. You can't criticize without studying it. So let's study it. Let's see how it benefits us. And then personally, once again, it's just an avenue, I think, will at the end of the day better this country that we all love.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. He is from Pure Source, Hamilton, California. And he's spending some days in Ghana here in order to help get, know of marijuana, the benefits of marijuana. They want to, let's study it. They are putting up some, writing something down so that they can give it, the powers that have been, so that maybe we can, implement this. He's not saying let's legalize it. Let's study it first, and then from there we can continue to, do whatever I want to do with it. I'm here with my, I'm supported by the entire production crew. DJ Nyame, call him Emmanuel Kwajo, and then Bismarck, Osueni Efrifa, Kobi Sakite, and all the production team. They all make this possible. My name is Evan Samuelga. Call me Chief Ame. We did this here live inside East Legon. Kikibis, Kikibis restaurant and lounge. When you come here, get the freshest juice you want, you get it from here. Any kind of food that you want, you get it from here. Kikibis will be in Ko this Ko festivity. So, join Kikibis inside Ko for the Ko festival from 29th till, guys drop over there. We're going to have fun over there, work and no play, makes us dull, So we meet another time. What you give unto life is what life gives back to you. I'm Evan Squabna Meoga. Jack Insha Ewa Israel get to.
What's up, it's your boy Kwame Eugene, aka I'm a rock star.
Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Kitty, aka the girl them sugar, aka say you love me.
What's up, everyone? My name is Miss V.
My name is Stephen Dapaah, former international footballer. Keep watching SVTV Africa.